our friend Gary Heck, owner and president of Korbel Champagne. Hey Gary, how are you?
Hey, welcome to Korbel.
Well, thank you very much. I'm here for that special tour you brought.
Well, I see you brought the product.
Well, you know, you just make sure you never want to walk away empty-handed.
Let's go see how it's made.
Come on, I'll follow you out there.
Okay.
Gary, when you make a product like this, where do you start?
Well, it all starts in the vineyards. You know, you have to have the right soil, the right climate. You know, every day here we have the fog that comes in every night that keeps us a very cool region, especially made for Champagne grapes. This is probably the best place, other than the Champagne region of France, for making the grapes. After the grapes are picked, the grapes are brought to our crushing area, where we have the bladder presses.
Well, that's the new procedure.
It's a relatively new procedure, about 5 years old, but state of the art. And it is where it squeezes the grapes very gently. And instead of the old system where you crush the grapes and then put them into a continuous press, these are bladders inside the screens that very gently air and pushes the bladders open, and the juice comes out very gently, no oxidation.
So you get a better product.
Much better, much cleaner, much more delicate, and much more fruit characteristics. Then it goes into cold fermentation. These are refrigerated stainless steel jacketed tanks for cold fermentation to change the fermentation into wine, and it takes about 8 months, and that's what we call new wine. And then after it sits in there for 8 months, then it goes over to this building, and this is the cuvee bottling line. All of our glass that's sitting here is from the Owens, Illinois glass manufacturer, and it's a pressure vessel, not like a wine bottle. It's a much thicker glass to hold the pressure. As you can see, it's about 240 bottles a minute, and now it just goes to sleep and ages for about the next 18 months. Okay, now what we're walking by now is aging champagne. These warehouses from A1 through A6 are nothing but aging warehouses, and all this champagne is just sitting with the neck up, so that fermentation will take place slowly in the bottle, and that fermentation is what they call a secondary fermentation. You add some yeast and sugar back to the cuvee bottling line, and now it's turning into carbonation and also a little bit of alcohol. All right, this is the riddling. This is where we riddle a pallet at a time in cardboard boxes, and all the bottles now have been flipped over to where the neck is down. Now that the bottle is riddled, there's about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch of yeast cells and a little bit of filtration material that is now in the bottom of the neck of the bottle. Now we need to freeze that. Okay, now that you can see that we have about 2.5 inches of ice plug inside this bottle. Now for the first time in almost 8 months, that bottle can now stand upright. And now we'll go down the conveyor into our first machine, which is the decapper machine. This machine very gently takes off the cap, and then the 80 pounds pressure within inside the bottle will blow out the ice plug and the spent yeast. Now you have crystal clear champagne. Now here's the dosage machine. This machine comes after the suck-out machine, and what it does is puts amount of sugar that we put in the bottle. Now after that, the sugar is put in the bottle, it rolls around the corner here to the fill machine. This will take some of the champagne that was taken out by the first machine and place it back into the champagne bottle to come up with the proper fill height. Here's the machine that actually puts the corks inside the bottle. And as you can see, it's put in 5 bottles at a time, 5 corks. Now it moves to a bottle washing machine to wash off any sugar or any champagne that may have spilt on the bottle, and then it goes over to down this long conveyor. It's inspected to make sure that there is no flaws in the glass for the final inspection. And then it goes into the label machine, and it will put on the neck wrap first in that machine, and then into the label machine, and it will put on the neck and face, and it's a back label. It goes down and it goes past in front of 5 more inspectors to make sure those labels are on absolutely perfect. And it goes down this other conveyor, and then it is automatically packed in the boxes. And Dave, as you can see above you, is all the Korbel champagne cases that we have constructed in the back room. We're down here now at the Market and Deli. This was just opened April 2nd. So what we're trying to do here, Dave, is make it a destination place for family and friends to come and take the tours and see the wonderful buildings we have around here, the old blacksmith shop that dates back to the 1860s, the post office that dates back to the early 1800s, and the marketplace and the deli and the Korbel champagne tours and the garden. That somebody can come and spend the whole day here and have a good time.
Gary, I want to thank you for letting us come in and see your just marvelous facility. But the number that we're putting up now is your number here in Sonoma. It's the internet too. If anybody wants to come by, it's totally free. You can call and get directions. You'll fax them a menu and all that, won't you?
That's correct.
It's really a sort of a family thing again.
Yes, it is.
And again, I want to thank you and your family here at Korbel for letting us come in and the official champagne of New Year's Eve.
Correct.
Cheers, man.
Thank you.
It's good. It's good.